What's your take?
Somebody's got to yield because it's an unstoppable force and an immovable object. Both sides, NATO and Russia, believe they're justified in what they're doing and whatnot. For context, Russia's idea of invading Ukraine Putin's idea was he wanted to restore the historic Russian Empire, not the Soviet Union, but the Russian Empire as it had existed up until the Tsar was overthrown in 1917, which includes part of Ukraine. Ukraine literally translates to borderland. It was the reason that it was called the Ukraine for the longest time, not just Ukraine. Now, because it's the Balkans, there's always going to be issues of racial differences and language differences and
Cultural differences and
cultural, religious differences. You have the eastern part of the country, which largely speaks Russia. Some of them want to be part of Russia, some of them don't. The western part of the country largely speaks Ukraine, which is like a Slavic offshoot. It's not that close, but like you can hear similarities. A lot of them don't want to be part of Russia. Some of them do. I'm not a Putin fan. I'm not like a Russian apologist, but just how I see it, he wants his original borders. Mm-hmm. He wants Moscow to continue to be the capital as it has been. He doesn't want to move it back to Kyiv as it historically was. He just kind of wants an expansion of borders and more safeguards against NATO. Because from his view, NATO's been doing nothing but sucking up all his border countries and then using them as basically outposts for the U.S. military and for everybody else in the area. But our politicians in this country were still stuck in that Cold War mindset. The Russians wanted to move on. We told them no. Or we basically stiffed them, whether it was a certain administration, whether it was the CIA, it's irrelevant. That's the vibe they got. How the war is going to play out, bro, it's going to be a meat grinder because the tactics that are being employed there, think World War I positional stalemate with trench warfare, with World War II artillery fire and airplanes, coupled with 2025 drones with thermal vision, with modern infantry and mechanized and all these mechanized tactics. It is a bloodbath. It's horrible to watch.